Hello, good morning. Am I audible?
Hey, good morning. Yes.
All right. So let me share my screen. Okay, is it visible?
Yes.
Okay. So today we will try to solve one assignment in Django. I have an assignment which we will solve in this class. Okay. But before solving that assignments, let's get basic understanding, right? So generally what we do, we create Django project, right? We create Django project by following command Django admin start project and project. Let's suppose this is our project. Okay. Our project name, let's suppose it is online store, right? So when you create this project, in this project you see generally two things. One is project configuration folder. Okay, inside this project you will get one more folder for the configurations. Means this folder will contain project configurations. Okay, generally we use here two files. Basically we use most of the time, which is settings.py file. Settings.py file is there in the configurations, and there is one more file which is known as urls.py. That file is helpful for routing, right? Whenever we create the URL, so here we define the route for each URL. And in settings.py, basically we register our application. Okay, so our application, like, let's suppose I have created this application. Okay, and let's suppose there is one more application. A project can have multiple application, right? A project can have multiple application. So let's suppose the application name is, here our application name is, let's suppose this is order application, and there is one more application which is customer, right? So whenever we create the applications, most of the time in the application we use one file, which is, the file name is views.py. In the views.py we write the logics for our application. Here also views. Okay, so this views.py file by default available in our application folder. Whenever we create the app, like order app or customer app, this views.py file will default available, right? And what we do next, with this URL we connect our application. With this URL we connect our application views. Okay, but today we will do one step more. Whenever we create our application, for our application we create the routes inside our application. So by default there is no urls.py file in our application. It is available at project level. Means in project configuration you will see urls.py file. But in application, when you will create the application, you will not get any urls.py file. But we will create urls.py file here in our application because we are having multiple application, right? So when we are working with multiple application projects, it's recommended to create separate URL for separate application. Alright, so what we will do for this application, order application, we will create one URL separately. Okay, similarly here for the customer table, for the customer application, we will create its own URL in this application. Okay. So whatever the customer specific endpoints, or we can say URL, it will be there. It will be there in customer application. What will be the order related URL? It will be there in order application URL label. Is what we call it generally. Generally we call it application label URL. App label URL. Okay, similarly, this is also known as app label URL. Okay. And this is known as project label URL. Right. So this project label URL by default available in project configuration. But these URLs are not by default available. We need to create separately by ourselves. This is URL. Okay. So I hope you are understanding this. Right. Okay. So in this class, we are going to solve this assignment. Okay. So there is a project which we have to create. Okay. So please try to understand everyone what we have to do in this project. Let's try to understand it. Okay. So our assignment name is Django assignment, and this is based on online store project, right? So what we have to do, we have to build an online project, right? So what is our goal? Our goal is create a Django project, and the project name is online store with three applications. We have to create how many applications? Three applications. Let's suppose this is the online project, online store. So in this online store, we have to create three applications. Okay, the first application is product, second is order, and the third one is customer. So this is what product, this is order application, right? This is the customer application. Okay, so we have to create these three applications. And what are the instructions we have to follow? Okay, so instructions. Okay, create project and apps. With the help of this command, we can create right? Then we can go and we can create the application. So let's try to do this. Then what it is saying, add all apps in settings.py. So let's try to do it step by step, right? Okay, I hope you are getting the basic clarity, basic idea actually what to do, but let me make it more simplified. So we have to create an online store, right? So what is the name of this online store? This is the project we have to create, and the project name is online store, right? When you will create the project, you will get two files. What are the two files we can get in the project? First of all, we will get the project configuration folder. Inside the project folder, the second file we will get manage.py, right? So with the help of this manage.py file, we will ask to create application. Okay. So the first application will be first application, second application, there is a third application, right? What is the name of the first application? So the first application name is product application. Okay. Another application name is order application. Next application name is customer application. Right? So when we create these applications, we need to register these applications where in settings.py file. Okay. So where we will get the settings.py file inside the project configuration. Okay. So this is the project configuration. Here we will get settings.py file. Here we have to register our application in installed app. And for each application there should be the URL. So URLs registration we have to do in urls.py file. Okay, but as I said, we have more than one application. We have multiple application in our single project. So what we will do, basically we will create here one urls.py file. Okay, this urls.py file by default available in project configuration, but here when you will create the application, so you cannot get here urls.py file, but this file we have to create by ourselves. So we will write here urls.py file. Okay. So if each application is having its own URL, so there will not be any confusion, there will not be any overriding. So it's better to create separate URLs in applications when we are working with multiple applications. I hope this much clear to you guys. If it is clear, then we will start our project. So what are the steps we have to take to start the project? Steps to create Django online store, right? So the first step is create create a Django project, right? So what is the command to create the Django project?
Django administrator.
Yes. So we can write here command which is Django admin start project and the project. So the project name is online, you can say online store, right? So this is the project name. Okay. Now what is the second step? Step 2, create apps. So what are the apps we need to create? Create product app, create order app, and create customer app, right? So three applications we have to create. So what is the command to create application? The command is, first of all we need to go to the, okay, this is the third step actually. Second step we have to write step 2, change directory. This change directory means we will write here cd and the project folder name so that we can move into the project now. Now the third step is create apps. Okay, so how to create the application? So there is a command py manage.py start app, right? What is the application name? Product app. Another command is create application py manage.py start app. What's the application name? Order app, right? We have to create one more application, okay, which is customer application. So how to create? Py manage.py start app, and the application name is customer application. So these three applications we have to create first of all, right? Now, once we have done with these three applications, as per the diagram, you can see we are having three applications here which we have created. Once we have created these all three applications, we need to register these applications in settings.py file, right? So step 4 is step 4 add apps in settings.py file, right? So where this settings.py file available? Inside the project folder. What is the project name? Online store. So in online store, you will see one settings.py file. So here it is what? Settings.py. So in this settings.py file, there is a installed apps. So inside this installed app list, okay, so there will be already existing applications will be there, but we don't need to bother about that. We have to register our three applications. One is product, second is order, and third one is customer. So write here product. Make sure you are writing correct spelling with the same case when we are registering the application. Second is order. Okay, and when we are writing more than one application name, separated by comma. Next is customer app, right? And after that, what we can do once we have done this, we can run the server. So the step 5 is run server. So the command to run the server is py manage.py, okay, or you can write Python also. Okay, if py is not working, you can write Python manage.py run server. So these steps we have to do before going to actually work with our project. Okay, so let me open VS Code. Okay, so we have opened our folder here. Now let's open the terminal. Take a new terminal, right? and here we will write the command. Okay, so first command we have to write Django admin start project, and the project name is online project. So let's copy it and paste it here. So it has created our online store, and this online store is having two things. One is online store and manage.py. As per the diagram you can understand it. Online store we have, right? Online store which contain the configurations, and one manage.py. Okay, now what we have to do, change directory, right? Okay, so now our current working directory is online store. If you really want to check the path, so you can write pwd in order to check present working directory. So this one is your present working directory. Next is we have to create application, free application. So let's copy this command to create the first application. So as you can see here, product application has been created. Now another application we have to create, which is order application. Let's copy it and paste it here. So order application has been created. Now we have to create one more application, which is customer application. Right, so we got three application. One is customer, one is order, and one is product. Okay, so once you will open this any application, you will not see any urls.py file. Okay, because urls.py file by default is not available in application. So in each applications we will create its URL file. Okay, but before creating the URL file, let's follow the step 4, add apps in settings.py file. Okay, so we have to go online store settings.py. So online store setting, here we have settings.py file, right? And here we have to search installed application. So we have this installed application at line number 33. Here we have to register our all application. So the first application name is order application. Second application name is product application. And the third application name is customer application. Okay, so if we are not doing any mistake, means when we will start our server, okay, so when we will start our server, it will execute nicely without any error. Okay, so what is the next step? Run server. How to run the server? This is the command which we can use. Okay, so our server has started, and this is the URL. Okay, to go to the application. So what I will do here, I will open the Chrome, I will open the browser, and in this browser I will search localhost 8000. Okay, so you will get your application. Okay, so your application is running, our Django application is running. Now as per the diagram, what we have to do, so what we have done so far, we have created this online store project, right? And we have created this application, product application we have created, order application we have created, customer application we have created. all the applications we have registered in settings.py file, right? Now what we have to do, we have to create urls.py file in each application, because by default it is not available. Why we are creating this urls.py file? So that we can create route for each application. So in order application there is no urls.py file. So let's create it. So in order to create new file, just click on this order application and just click on this new file icon, and here you can write the application name, I mean file name, which is urls.py. Okay, so this order application is having urls. Now in this product application we have to create same file, which is urls.py. For this customer we have to create one more application, which is urls.py. Okay, so means our applications, our all three applications are having urls.py file. Okay, so for each application we have to write logic. So we write logic in which file? In views file. Okay, by default views file is available. Each application is having views. In views file what we write? We write logic. Okay, so in application view we will write the logic. So let's talk about the order application first. In the order application, if you will see the order application, it is having one views.py file. Here generally we create the Python function. Okay, or we can say we write the logic for our application, right? So what we will do, we will create here view. Okay, so let me show you here. So we have our application, right? And the application name is order application, right? We have created the order application. Okay, and this order application inside the project folder. Okay, I'm not talking about the project folder right now. I'm talking about this order application. So it is having different files, but we are talking about the required file, which is one is views.py file, and the second one is urls.py file. Okay, so whatever view we will create, whatever logics we will create here in views.py file, okay, for each view we will create url in urls.py file. What I'm trying to say, this is, let's suppose your views.py file, right? And this is your urls.py. So what's the name of this file? urls.py. Okay, so let's suppose I have created here abc view. Okay, let's suppose I have created here view 1. Okay, view 1 is nothing but a function. Okay, view 1 you can consider this is one Python function. So if you have created here view 1 function. So for this view, we need to create one URL. And where we will create the URL? We will create URLs in urls.py file. Okay, URL 1. Okay, I'm giving just an example only. Okay, or let's suppose I'm creating here like data, or we can say our URL name is order. Okay, so this is the order URL. So what we will do with this order URL, we will link our view. So whenever user will request, okay. So let's suppose we have user as well. Okay, so whenever user request for order, okay, so this is the user. This will request for the order. How it will request? He will write like this URL. Okay, which URL he will write? Let's suppose localhost. Okay, because we are at localhost, that's why I am writing here localhost. Okay, localhost / order. Okay, so when he will request to this URL, okay, so this request will go to the where this request will go. This request will go to the URLs. The request will go to the URL. Okay, because it has written order endpoint. Okay, so we have order URL. If order URL is not there in urls.py file, then he will get error page not found. Okay, he will get an error which is page not found, right? So basically we have already one URL which is order. Okay, so he will not get a error which is page not found. Okay, and this order, with this order URL, this view is associated. Okay, and this view is responsible to show the response to this user. Getting the cycle, guys? So user will request localhost port number and / order, and this will go to the URLs, right? And this will go to the views. Okay, and like this we will get the response. Is this clear? Okay, so let's try to create here view. Okay, in view basically we will create the function. So we will create two functions. One is order, or we can say place order, and the second one we will create which is order history. Okay, so these are the two views we need to create, right? So how to create the view? We will write here def to create the function, and the function name is place order. Okay, by default we need to write one parameter which is request, right? Because whatever request will come from the URLs, it will go to the views request parameter. So that is why we need to write here request, and after that what we have to do, we have to return the response. But which response we can return? We can return the HTTP response. But what it is saying, HTTP is not defined. HTTP response is not defined because it is not imported. So we need to import it from Django.http. Okay, so from Django.http we need to import HTTP response. Correct? So now it is not giving error. Now what we have to do, we have to say, we have to display one message, your order placed successfully. Right, so we can write here like one h1 tag, and here we can close the h1 tag, and in between the h1 tag we can write order placed successfully. Right, now we have to create another view which is order history. Create this view, we need to write def keyword, and we will write here order history, and it will get the request. Right, and we have to return, what we have to return, we will return JSON response. Okay, so what it is saying, JSON is not defined, so we need to use the JSON as well, JSON response. Okay, so when we send the JSON response, generally we need one dictionary, and in Python how we can create the dictionary, we create dictionary with this curly braces. Okay, so but I have to create more than one dictionary, so I have to create two dictionary. Okay, so what I will do, I will keep this dictionary, these two dictionary in list. Okay, and I will say this list name is orders list. Okay, so this list will contain orders. Okay, so in the first dictionary, in the dictionary one, okay, this is containing two dictionary. So first dictionary we will write, in the first dictionary we will write id, what is the order id. Okay, generally in dictionary we write key and value, each value is associated with its key. Then we will write the item, so item, let's suppose item is laptop. Okay, and next we have to write status, whether it has delivered or not. Okay, so what's the status of the application, I mean product. Okay, so status is successfully delivered, so I will write here delivered. Right, so this is the first product information. Right, and there is one more product, the product id is 2. Right, product id is 2, and what is the item name, item is, we can say, let's suppose mouse. And what is the status of delivery, status of delivery is what, pending. Right, now this is the dictionary, this dictionary we have to convert into what, JSON. Okay, so that is why we have imported JSON response. Right, so in the JSON response we will send one dictionary. Okay, here we will send one dictionary. Okay, I'm writing the dictionary name is dict. Okay, And in dict, what I will write, I will create one key which is orders. Okay, and I will create the value is same as orders. Okay, so this is what key and value. Okay, key is what orders and value is this orders. Okay, so here what I will do, I will pass here dict. Okay, I'm converting this dictionary as a JSON response. Right now, what we have to do for this view, we have created here two views. One is place order, and second view is order history. So means we have two views. So for each view we have to create URL. Okay, because this is the view one, we have created one URL which is order, where we have created in urls.py file. Okay, so what we have to do in the application itself, we have views.py. So we have written views. Now we have to work with urls.py file. So here as you can see, we have urls.py file, but nothing inside this urls.py file. Okay, so what we need to do, we have to go to the, let's see, we will go to the online store configuration. This is our project configuration. It is having URLs. Let me just delete this comments. Okay, so from here what we will do, we will copy this lines. Okay, this is I'm copying from online store URLs. Okay, because we can write the, we can copy the reusable code. And in, okay, so this is what, not this, we have written the, in orders.py file we have created views, and here we have to create the URL, and I will paste whatever I have copied from there. Okay, so this is what I have copied. So I don't need admin in our application. Okay, so I need this pattern. Okay, so but I will not write like this. Okay, so this is the structure we required to write the path. Okay, now what we will do, whatever view is there inside the views.py file, we have to link with urls.py file. So what I will say, I will write here one statement from orders, from the order application, because this is the order application, right? From order import which file, this order is having so many files, so out of these so many files we need views, so I will say import views. Okay, so view is imported. Okay, so inside this we have two folder, I mean two views, one is place order and second one is order history. Okay, so here I'll create two path. Okay, two path is nothing but two URLs we need to create, URL1 and URL2. So here I will write endpoint name which is place. Okay, and the second URL name I will write which is history. Right, and place order I will associate it with place order. Place endpoint I will associate with place order. Okay, and this place order is where, place order is available inside the views dot, what is the name of the view, place order. Okay, similarly this history endpoint I will associate it with order history. Okay, so I will write here views dot order history. Okay, this is what we have to do. Right, okay, so what we have done so far, we have, okay, let me show you with clear picture so that you can understand it better. So in our project name is online store, online store. Okay. And our project is having one more folder which is configurations. Okay. And the configuration folder name is store itself. Okay. In this store we generally use two files most of the time. One is settings.py file where we register our application, and there is one more file which is urls.py file. Okay. And there is one more file available here which is manage.py file. Okay. And apart from this we have created different applications here, but let's talk about order application, because in order application we have created the view. So this application is nothing but order application. So this is the order app, right? And if we will see this order app, so inside this order application we have created two things. Okay. So in this order application, this is the order application. It is having two things. One is use.py file. Second one is urls.py file. Okay. So each view we have associated with URL. Okay. So the URL routing for this order application is there in urls.py file. But this urls.py file will not work until unless we will not attach this URL file with this project URL, because our Django project configuration don't know anything about the application label URL. So what we need to do in the urls.py, which is available in online store, there we have to mention our URLs information. Are you understanding, guys? Okay. So what we have to do now, inside the online store URL, we have to send the information about application label URL. Okay, what I'm trying to say here, note, there is one note I would like to write here, which is okay, link application label URLs with project label URL. Okay, so how to link it? So in order to link, we have to go to the urls.py file which is available in online store. So in online store, here is the configuration, here is the urls.py file. Okay, so here what we need to do basically, we need to write here we have to attach here path of our URLs, our application label URL. So what I will do, I will not write any endpoint because all the endpoint I have written already in my application label URL. So in project label URL, I will keep endpoint empty and I will use here one include method. Okay, so when you will use the include function, what it is saying, include is not defined. So let's import it from Django.urls, import path already installed. I mean imported, we have to import include. So now error is not coming, right? So here we have to say include the application label URL. So it will ask you what is your application name. So we will tell our application name is order. Now it will ask you in which file you have defined the routing or in which file you have created the URLs. So we will say in URLs file. So that's what we have to tell to the include function. And he will ask you like which endpoint you want to access these URLs. So let's suppose I am saying whenever user will type here order, when user search order related information, then you have to display this, right? Okay, so let me just, we have created URLs and view for one applications, but for the remaining applications we will see in the next class. But let's try to run this application now. Go to the this page, localhost 8000. Now refresh it. It is saying we having two URLs, two endpoint. One is admin, which is by default. Second is order, which we have created, right? Now we have to go to the orders. Okay, so how we can search for the order? If you will write search, so it will, if you will write here order, so it will tell you two more endpoint. One is, okay, order. All right, let me just check. In application label URL, we have place order and history. Okay, so what we will do here, we will again go to the order. Okay, so inside the order, this is the application label endpoint, and this is the, I mean, first one is application project label, and second one is application label. And it is saying which one you want to see, place order or history. I want to check like history. Okay, there is some mistake we are doing. Application label URL. So if I write here place, okay, so it is showing order placed. But if I am writing here history, so it is displaying history in JSON format. Okay, so done we have done this orders. Okay, laptop labeled. Second is mouse is pending, right? Okay, so we are creating this project as per this assignment. So if you will read this assignment, so to this assignment we are following all the steps, right? So we have created order history. okay, which is returning JSON response. Okay, so I will share this assignment with you as well. Okay, so you can also try this assignment by yourself, right? These are the applications we have created, and this is the URL we have created. This is the application level URL. I mean, this is the project level URL, right? Okay. So in the next class, we will try to complete this project. It is not completed yet. We have to do more work in order to complete it. But as of now, this much is enough. Okay, you can simply search here JSON extensions. So you can get the popular extension from here. Okay, so this is the my extension which is I am using, right? So this it will ask you to add or install. Okay, this one you can check, right? So all right guys, thanks for joining the class. Tomorrow we will complete this assignment. Bye all of you.